basically self-awareness, right? Like having a real keen sense of who you are, where you are. And that's admitting. And I think we all have to admit, if you're tired, say it. Like sometimes leaders just press through. I'm not tired. Well, the hardest person to lead in the world is yourself. That's why you have to self-lead the best and say, hey, I've got to be honest with me. I'm tired. I'm a little bit fatigued. And then because we're leading people that are around us, this episode is called How to Lead When You're Tired, and your team is too. It's okay. You don't have to be insecure to let your team know that you're tired. You know, in fact, that's when teams usually rise up to kind of lift your arms up a little bit and just admit a little bit, hey guys, I'm a little bit tired right now. And it's been a rough season. I'm going to need to lean on you a little bit. So I would just say admit.
Be self-aware. What does it look like for you, Wayne Francis, when you're tired? What is it? What besides you know, just you?
Yeah, I feel less joyful, less creative.
Yep.
And I'm probably a little bit curt. So I actually even have to apologize to a team member or two every so often just because I'm a little bit more snarky. And I don't mean to be. Sometimes I don't even know until I see the person's reaction to what I'm saying. Like, ooh, I need to, I'm tired. So those are the three reactions.
I think mine are the same. I'm a little more irritated. My faith is lower and I can get discouraged easier. So I think for leaders, courage and faith is super important. And there's a direct correlation between your fatigue level and your faith level. So if you're feeling like your faith is low, very good chance you probably need to take a break of some sort.
Yep.
And it's not just let's go on vacation or, you know, we could talk about sabbaticals here for a minute because I think they're overused.
Yes.
The term and the process. We should get, I know we just had Dr. Andy. We didn't talk about sabbaticals with him. We should have talked about sabbaticals.
Let's get him back on the
He's
show.
helping us frame up our sabbatical process for our staff because we're putting this one in place that's strategic. And he and I have had some really great conversations about, you know, sabbaticals aren't for when you've had a moral failure. That's not, you know, I mean, whatever. That's a whole nother session. Yep. That's a whole nother episode. You know, sabbaticals need to be a part of the rhythm of every 7 years, literally, or every 5, 6, 7, whatever you do, then you take an extended break. So it could be that you're due for one and you need one, but it could be that you just need a day off.
Right.
Could be you just need a Sunday off.
Yep.
So I think number 2 for me, so this will be number 3 overall if we're counting. I went 1, you went 2.
No,
Here's 3. 3 is, I think, to understand what feeds you and what depletes you.
Okay. Yep.
What feeds you, what depletes you, and you can't. We can't typically just stop doing all the things that deplete us. You know, it's part of just life.
You're not going to be able to lead anything.
Part of life. But to understand them and to make sure if I can give, like Parker and I were in a meeting yesterday and there was something that was just like, oh my gosh, I think if I had to do that right now, I think wouldn't be good. So I said, Parker, if y'all could take that, that would really help. Just it's a simple thing.
Yeah.
Parker's good at it anyway. Easy for him to do. If we're able to do that, beautiful. Because but it just doesn't always work the way. So I think, you know, again, that's not really necessarily a tip. It's more of just we're still kind of in a self-awareness mode, aren't we, right now? Like, let's be aware, right? Understand your rhythms. You said self-awareness, what feeds you, what depletes you. I think it's really good. Even get your spouse to weigh in on that question, what feeds and what depletes. Get your team to try to estimate. It seems like this depletes. It seems like this feeds, and let's try to keep the feeding high, and the depleting low if possible.